Hi, it's Sachi. This is another variation of my free tulip hat pattern. It's reversible and still pretty easy to make. I made many variations of this hat because it's so quick and easy to make. I hope you give it a try too. I used this cotton fabric for one side and this linen fabric for the other side. Cotton fabric is pretty thin material and I'd say the linen is medium weight, and I decided to interface both fabric with fusible cotton interfacing. This is just whatever I had on hand. You can use any fusible interfacing meant for light to medium weight fabric. Or if you're using sturdier fabric like denim, you might not need to interface at all. Download my free pattern or draft on your own using my tutorial, and you need another piece of paper to make some changes to the pattern. I folded the pattern in half to find the center line. Also fold the paper so you can line up the two center lines of the pattern and the paper. From the edge of the cutting line of the pattern, measure down 1.5 inches on the center line. Extend the side line and measure down 1/2 inch. Connect the 2 points with a curved line. I like fusing interfacing to the fabric before cutting small pieces like hat patterns. It's an easier and more accurate way to add interfacing to small pieces. Face the wrong side of the fabric to the rough side of the fusible interfacing. Use the hottest iron setting your fabric can endure and put your weight on the iron to add heat and pressure to fuse the two layers. Once your fabrics are cooled, you can move them and start cutting out. You need 12 pieces total of the same shape, and that means you use your pattern 12 times. If you use your scissors directly next to the pattern, you might slice off small pieces of the pattern. After 12 times of that, you might end up with the smaller pattern piece than the one you started with. So to avoid that situation, I always trace my pattern to the fabric and cut out those lines. This corner is not completely covered with the interfacing, so I'm going to add this small piece. And cut off excess interfacing and you're good to go. I cut out 6 pieces from each fabric and all the pieces are fully interfaced. You attach 3 pieces each first, then sew them together with one long stitch. Put right side of the pieces together and start sewing at the edge of the top of the hat and stop at 1/4 inch from the bottom edge. Open the seam allowances on the wrong side and stitch about 1/8 of an inch to the side on both sides of the first stitch with the right side of the fabric facing up. Do the same thing on the other side. Repeat the same step with the third piece. I forgot to do this on the first seam, but it's better to clip the seam allowances at this curve before stitching down the seam allowances. This helps the seam allowances lay flat on the wrong side. Sew together another set of 3 pieces. Now attach the 2 big pieces with 1 long stitch. Don't forget to leave 1/4 of an inch at the beginning and the end. Repeat the process with the other fabric. Flip one of them inside out and place it on top of the other, so the right sides of the fabric are facing each other. Align the seams and sew around the brim with the 1/4 inch seam allowance. I left about 3 inches open so I can flip the hat right side out. Clip V-shapes every inch or so that seam allowance lay nicely when you flip the hat. I kind of roll out the seam like this. This helps get the seam to come to the edges. Then iron it from both sides. For the opening, fold the 1/4 inch seam allowance inside and then hand stitch it closed. I used ladder stitch. This is an option, but I made 4 rows of decorative stitch around the brim 1/4 inch apart. I said decorative, but these stitches actually also stiffen the brim a little. I love how this hat came out. And what I love the most about this hat is that I can throw it in my bag when I'm not using it. I hope you enjoyed the tutorial and I hope you give it a try. Thanks for watching.